Hello. Bit of fiddling. Got to get in our historic symbols here. Okay. Pretty well got the picture. Hey, Beattie here. May the 14th, 2014. How are you today? We're set up, ready to roll. Dinosaur News, dinosaurnews.com. Dinosaur News brought to you by thebritishpeoplesleague.com. We're proud to do so. As we get into today's show, entitled Empire Day, you'll understand why we're proud to do so. The last of the Mohicans, the last of the Anglo-Celts. That's how we feel sometimes. If it wasn't for Canada's secret civil war in 1978, yours truly would have given up hope along with everyone else. But I know, and many viewers to the show here who took part in Canada's secret civil war, gray hairs myself now, whose sons and daughters knew about their dad's activities, that gives us a purpose. So we're still here, but it was the last try of the Anglo-Celt to retain open power in British Canada. And this is why I still like Harper. I know all the schmaltzy crap he goes through to satisfy the multicults to get the votes. But I'm going to talk about what he's done for British Canadians. I mean, he brought back the Royal and the Royal Canadian Navy. He brought back the Royal and the Royal Canadian Air Force. He brought back the power of our good old red ensign flag above me here with the coat of arms and the symbols of the British Isles. He's brought these back. And of course, there's our immigration poster, open your eyes. But Harper has brought these things back. Who else has done that? And he's gone so far, the liberal press tries to hide it, but he's gone so far as to unite the British and Canadian embassies, which is incredible. You can hardly call that Cameron over in the motherland a conservative, but he did go along with that maneuver of Harper's. You don't read it anywhere. You'd have to Google it to check it out. But the British and Canadian embassies are combined now around the globe. So there's Harper. He still cares, and Beattie still cares, and our friends in the blind list still care. The article I'm about to read you knocks some stuffings out of me, though, about caring on this, the Empire Day, Queen Victoria weekend coming up. Now, let's get some evidence here that we once were British. Canada and Canadian defense. And the leaf on Major General Robinson, commander of the British Empire, Canada and Canadian defense. This book was written in 1910. And there you saw the Union Jack flag. All of the current crap that's printed for the school system, they just melt out the Union Jack, even the red ensign in the Second World War. They just melt it out of the picture and put it in the red rag. The red rag of the multicultural invasion. Boys and girls who need a reminder, the red rag was forced upon us in 1965 by Parliament under the Act of Closure. Debate was closed. No one was allowed to continue the battle to keep our red ensign. Well, Harper's reinstituted the red ensign, put it in a place of glory in the memorial grounds in France. I'm not getting into the stuff he does we don't like, okay? We're just accenting the positive. I don't know if this next item I can show you. I'll do the best I can. There's even broken glass at the top. Union Jack in Toronto. Loyal Old Anglo-Saxon Ontario. 1919 I'm about to show you. And you'll just have to notice the size. The monstrous size of the huge, massive Union Jack covering the whole half the whole half side of downtown Bay Street in downtown Toronto, as it says underneath. Union Jack in Toronto, Royal Old Anglo-Saxon Ontario, 1919 AD. There's Bay Street, the heart of the industrial area. Look at the size of that Union Jack. And Union Jacks everywhere. So there we have it. Those were our roots. And as I've gone on about in these shows, believe it or not, the multicults hate it, the liberals hate it. But the phone books still have those of British stock and British roots. They gave us our structure, our foundation. Contrary to what so-called right-wingers say, our banks are not run by an international cabal. Our banks survived during that banking crisis a few years back. Canadian banks survived, top of the globe. Anglo-Celts running our banks, folks. I hate to give the conspiratorialists shocking news. Check it on Google. The head of Toronto Dominion Bank, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, Bank of Montreal, Bank of Nova Scotia. That's just a small sample of what I'm getting at. Anglo-Celts are still at a lot of key power structures in Canada, but cut in half, diluted. Our peoples did try in 1978 to retain complete power in Canada. Canada's secret civil war, 1978 too, with a question mark. If you go into the March YouTubes, or go into the BritishPeoplesLeague.com homepage, you'll see the March YouTubes referred to just a couple of months ago, where we did reviews of the book introduction that yours truly is working on. I'm not panicking. It's going to be a huge book. It's going to be quite thick with many details. And that was the last attempt, as far as I'm concerned, the last physical attempt. As said, my Toronto son is named after 3 dead Toronto policemen who died preserving Anglo-Celtic power structure in Canada. They didn't die in vain. Quebec separatists were discouraged, shall we say, discouraged from carrying on. All the proofs will be in the book. So this is the article. It's meant to pump up history, but it makes me see what we've lost. Empire Day. This is by Ben Johnson. History and Heritage Accommodation Guide. Empire Day. The very idea of a day that would remind children that they form part of the British Empire and they might think with others in lands across the sea what it meant to be sons and daughters of such a glorious empire, and that the strength of the empire depended upon them, and they must never forget it, had been considered as early as 1897. The image of a motherly Queen Victoria, and I'm very proud, if I could do the camera work properly here, there she be, right behind us in all these broadcasts, is a beautiful portrait of Queen Victoria. I suppose, for the occasion of the show, I should wiggle her off the wall and get her up front. The cat has smacked up a couple of pictures here. There we are. There's the good old Queen. So that's what we're celebrating coming up, Empire Day. Okay? Victoria Day here in Canada, Empire Day in Britain, as I was reading the article. However, it was not until after the death of Queen Victoria that it was really all brought out. I threw that in there because I lost my place. The image of a motherly Queen Victoria as its paramount ruler would be shared by an empire spanning almost a quarter of the entire globe. However, it was not until after the death of Queen Victoria, who died on 22nd of January 1901, that Empire Day was first celebrated. The first Empire Day took place on 24th of May 1902, the Queen's birthday, although not officially recognized as an annual event until 1916. Many schools across the British Empire were celebrating it before then. One New Zealand school journal from 1910 records, "This is the Union Jack, and now that Empire Day has come round once more, you will hear its history. It is really a colored picture from a history book, telling of things that happened long before you were born," end quote there. Each Empire Day, millions of school children from all walks of life across the land and breadth of the British Empire would typically salute the Union flag and sing patriotic songs like "Jerusalem" and "God Save the Queen." They would hear inspirational speeches and listen to the tales of daring do from across the empire, stories that included such heroes as Clive of India, Wolfe of Quebec, and Chinese Gordon of Khartoum. But of course the real highlight of the day for the children was that they were let off school early in order to take part in the thousands of marches, maypole dances, concerts, and parties that celebrated the event. In Britain, an empire movement was formed, with its goal, in the words of its Irish founder, Lord Meath, to promote the systematic training of children in all virtues. And this is important. Training of children in all virtues, which conduce to the creation of good citizens. Those virtues were also clearly spelled out by the watchwords of the Empire movement: responsibility, sympathy, duty, and self-sacrifice. Empire Day remained an essential part of the calendar for more than 50 years. Get that, folks? Empire Day remained an essential part of the calendar for more than 50 years, celebrated by countless millions of children and adults alike. An opportunity to demonstrate pride in being part of the British Empire, our British Empire. By the 1950s, however, the empire had started to decline, and Britain's relationship with the other countries that formed the empire had also changed as they began to celebrate their own identity. Political parties of the far left and pacifist dissenters had also begun to use Empire Day itself as an opportunity to attack British imperialism. Political correctness appears to have won the day when in 1958 Empire Day was rebadged as British Commonwealth Day, and still later in 1966 when it became known as Commonwealth Day. The date of the Commonwealth Day was also changed to June 10th, the official birthday of the present Queen Elizabeth II. The date was again changed in 1977 to the second Monday in March, when each year the Queen still sends a special message to the youth of the empire via radio broadcast to all the various countries of the, and I'm throwing this in the mixed bag, Commonwealth. The British People's League, we're interested in the white Commonwealth. And now, a now largely forgotten anniversary, perhaps your own grandparents will recall the chant, "Remember, remember Empire Day," the 24th of May. Well, of course, here in Canada, it's known as 2-4 weekend, in case of 24, but they do still call it Victoria Day, so that's a blessing in itself to show where our roots are. And again, our phone books are still half of those of British stock. We've got to wake them up, some of them, into the cell structure that we've talked about this week. Only your grandparents and several million loyal Canadians, that is, who still celebrate Victoria Day each year on the last Monday before 24th of May. The above article was originally compiled by historic UK researchers in 2006. We have, however, recently been contacted by Jane Allen, whose memories show how Empire Day was celebrated in Cardiff, Wales. I must have been amongst the last children to celebrate this at school. Not sure which year, as I was very young, but it would have been between 1955 and 1957. At infant school in Wales, we were taken out into the playground, and the Union Jack was hoisted, then lowered after we had sung our song. "Brightly, brightly, sun of spring, upon this happy day, shine upon us as we sing this 24th of May. Shine upon our brothers too, far across the ocean blue, as we raise our song of praise on this our glorious Empire Day." And from the other side of the empire, from Steve Porsche in Australia, Australian and mid-1950s. Empire Day, 24th of May, was Cracker Night, sort of Guy Fawkes night. So nice that someone else remembers what was such a fun part of life in those years gone by. We had big bonfires, skyrockets, and all the things that are now considered unsafe, but I never got hurt. Empire Day was always something to look forward to as an Australian child, end of quote. It's not our intention to bring back the empire. It's our intention to hold on for our peoples, for our British roots, for our race. The white Commonwealth countries, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the motherland, retain our roots. Yes, even the Falklands, Gibraltar. That's why we like Harper. He still has some links. Again, I'm talking about what pleases the British People's League, not the stuff that his government does that we're not pleased with. Accent the positive. You know, the British People's League is the only organization, along with the Candor League in the United Kingdom, that openly works with our own Britons worldwide. Are we going the death route? Sometimes I think so. When I read an article like that, it's not very encouraging when you think of what we've lost. Oh, the damn camera. And the wall looks naked with the Queen Victoria up there. The death route. That's why royal visits are so important. As the last visible link, are we wasting our time? Well, as I said the other day, I can't waste my time. I have a blood debt to those who passed away in the 1978 takeover attempt, the administration of Canada. Again, check out the word administrator in the British North America Act, which is still the main envelope for the Canada's constitution that Trudeau tried to screw the country up with his buddy on the Supreme Court of Canada, Boris Laskin. Are we wasting our time? Well, we're not wasting our time. As a good doctor, I guess he was a physicist in the United States, that stated, implosion is rampant. Organized people just have to keep organized, fine-tuned, tight-knit. Well, I'm throwing some of my language in here. The idea, though, that implosion. And we will slice through the mob as a knife through butter someday. Oh, legally, of course, when we are begged to do so, when all else has failed. When cell structures of the British People's League, legal cell structures of the British People's League, are asked to assist as a lobby force, a legal lobby force, when collapse is certain. The service at different corporate structures is slowly going downhill because the third world are being employed. What do they know about our roots, our history, our culture, our customs? We all know the score, don't we, folks? But maybe you've gotten a relative to tune in today to the YouTube, so we're repeating some of it. To get you to bite the nibble of the bait, to have a view, have a look, have a listen to previous dinosaur news videos. Dinosaur news videos brought to you by the BritishPeoplesLeague.com. The cells must be created and are being created. Now, this Victoria Day, this Victoria Weekend, get your flags out. Dig out the old Union Jack. Get out the red ensign as we see above Beattie here in the British People's League flag. It's still considered Canada's flag by British Canadians. The Ontario flag is fine. Fly it on the Victoria weekend, Empire Day weekend. It has the Union Jack incorporated in what they call the fly of the flag. The Union Jack is there. So you got three choices. The full Union Jack, the red ensign above, or the Ontario flag. Fly them from your porch, from your apartment balcony. Do that much. Shock the multicults that there's so many of British stock who are proud. That's one small way you can show your strength for our cause without intimidating yourself. Okay? So get out the flag. Fly it proudly. Victoria Day weekend. Empire Day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk at you tomorrow. Bye for now.